Okay, so one question that needs to be addressed is what is the proper level of liability for companies to carry as their workers come back and may or may not contract the virus, right? So let's take a look at a clip for Trump giving his opinion on things.
Caitlin, go ahead.
If these companies that open and they have employees come back to work and they get sick, will these companies be liable?
Which companies are you talking about? Under
Any
what?
companies that open, manufacturing, any kind of company that opens,
So
employees go back to work,
have-
they get sick, will the
I'll
company
give you
be
an
liable?
answer to that. I'll give you a legal answer to that when we look it up. But we are trying to take liability away from these companies. We just don't want that because we want the companies to open and to open strong. But I'll get you a legal opinion on that. I'll get you, well, that's what I'm saying. I'll get you a legal opinion on
You
that.
guys haven't discussed that yet?
Nobody's discussed it, no, but we will now.
Have any business executives have voiced concern to you about being liable
Not one.
potentially?
Not one.
They didn't say
Not
that
at
on the
this
call
point.
last-
Trump went on to explain that by executive order, children, because of their improved immune response, children as young as 7 will start doing the jobs that were previously done by adults. Okay, I made that last part up, but you kind of had to think about it for a minute and go, wait a minute, is that really happening? So that's the point. You kind of had to think about it for a minute and wonder, would corporations really be doing this? So obviously, there's going to be cases, no matter what happens, of people going back to work and getting COVID-19. But there's also going to be cases where a lot more people will get it if workplace conditions are not handled properly, right? And as we've all seen before, companies oftentimes cut safety procedures because safety costs money to the company, but it doesn't necessarily improve profits. So that is a place that is frequently skipped when a company is trying to make profit. So we can't have that now, right? So there's this balance that has to be struck between what some people seem to want, which is that companies will have no COVID-19 liability at all, right, in any form, or, we need to make sure that companies are setting up proper safety procedures so that when people do go back to work, there's a very, very low likelihood that they're going to be contracting the disease. We need workers protected. We do need the economy running at some point, eventually. We need to figure out what that point is. But when people do start to go back, we need to make sure they're protected and that they're safe and not just give companies a free pass and say, oh, don't worry about it. Whatever you do, no one's going to be able to sue you. So this is that middle area that has to be determined. You might think, what companies aren't going to do anything bad, right? Well, look back at our history. Our history is full of situations where kids were put to work, people were working 7 days a week, people were working long hours, unsafe worker conditions, all this kind of stuff. A company will find a way to cut costs anywhere it can if it thinks it's going to help the bottom line, and if that attempt to help the bottom line is hurting worker safety, then it's not okay. That's why this is a big deal. So between January and April, there were over 3,000 OSHA complaints related to the virus. People saying, hey, look, my company is not following the proper procedures to keep me safe from the virus, right? 3,000 cases in a couple months. So companies are already not doing the right things by their workers. They're already not protecting their workers. What do you think is going to happen when all of a sudden we tell them, oh, by the way, your workers can no longer sue you? Do you think they're going to rush to put those safety precautions in place? Or are they going to go, great, we just saved a bunch of money by not having to worry about safety precautions for our employees as they come back to work? We're at this situation where companies are coming out and they want to be nice. It's real easy to say things. It's real easy to say, I appreciate my employees. It's real easy to say that, all these employees coming back, we care about you. Thanks for coming to work. But you have to show that you care about them with their actions. So let's take a look at a clip of a Walmart commercial. And then let's take a look at the words of a Walmart employee. So Walmart associate Jennifer Suggs says, we're essential, which means we're sacrificial. Upper management Walmart, they're making their money. They do not care about us. She goes on to say, I have no protection. All I have is a stupid blue vest. I never signed up for this. I didn't want to sign up to be a hero. I did not sign up to put my health on the line every day. I never joined the army or freaking military. Now every day I'm faced with a pandemic and I could die. I pray to God it's not what I've got right now because I really don't have any health coverage. Okay, so on one hand, you have the company coming out making nice commercials for everyone to saying how much we appreciate you and you're the heroes and you're wonderful. But when it comes to the things that those people actually need to live a productive life, the safety precautions to make sure that they're not getting the virus, make sure they have health coverage so that when they do get the virus, making you profit, they can at least get some medical help for it, right? These things aren't done. This is what we need to move away from in this country, is words that are easy to say, things like, thanks, you're a hero, versus actually doing something about it and putting money into the bottom line to say, you know what, Walmart worker, we appreciate you putting your life on the line. You've now got health care. You now get $15 an hour. We're now going to make sure that you're taken care of. We're going to put all the safety precautions we can so that the hundreds of people that you help every day at Walmart don't get you sick. That's when it comes to actually making a difference, not just talking about it. So remember in the clip when Trump said, oh, we've never even considered this idea. No one's even heard about it or thought about it. Well, that appears to be incorrect. So the New York Times reported that executives from a number of companies in a conference call with Trump last week brought up this very idea of companies not having to face liability for their employees getting COVID. So he heard about it there. And the Washington Post reported earlier this month that Trump administration officials discussed this in a meeting about what is the right level of liability for companies to carry during this COVID situation. So the fact that he's saying he's never heard of it before actually kind of looks bad on him. Either he doesn't know what's going on, or he doesn't understand what's going on, or he's lying. It's one of those situations, right? We sort of figure it out. So that just worries me because I would much rather him be upfront and honest, right? Why would you deny that it's being discussed? What is the right level? There is a right level of liability, right? If a company is doing everything it can to keep its people safe, right, then they should not be as liable as someone who is completely cutting all safety guidelines. So there is a right level of liability that exists. We just can't have it be no liability so companies can do whatever they want. We need to come up with a sensible, rational, reasonable level of liability for companies to carry forward. So why would you deny that that conversation was even taking place? It just makes me suspicious in an already suspicious situation. Why are you lying about this? Why don't you just say, oh, that's an ongoing conversation. We're looking into it. Why would you pretend like it's a brand new thing? It worries me. All right, so according to Justin Wolfers, an economics professor at the University of Michigan, the whole point of making employers liable for risking the lives of their staff is to prevent them from exposing their staff to undue risk. Businesses are asking for the right to expose their workers to fatal risks with no consequences. It's bad economics and it's bad policy. If this tweet sounds to you at all anti-business, let me be clear. I am absolutely against businesses profiting by exposing their workers to unconscionable risks of death. Yeah, and that's the point we're getting at, right? We're not saying, oh, well, the counter argument is, well, what if someone was going to get COVID anyway? Should an employer be sued for that? No, the idea here is we want proper safety procedures in place so that more people aren't getting the disease than need to, because obviously we don't want those workers unhealthy. And then guess what? Before they die or whatever ends up happening to them, they're going to spread it to other people. We need the safety procedures in place. So this idea of zero liability is unacceptable. Now, this hasn't been passed yet. There's not been any kind of order putting this in place, but there is talk about it coming up in the next round of stimulus. So we as the people need to be ready so that we can be on guard and go, oh, I think they're going to try to push something through here that's actually bad for the people. And we need to make sure that the Congress people involved in creating these laws and crafting these laws are aware that this is the kind of thing we don't want going on. When people go back to work, when we decide that that's a safe thing for them to do, they should be doing it in a safe manner, right? That's what we need. And keeping companies liable will make sure that they're putting safety procedures in place. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to make sure you get all the new content as it becomes available, and we'll see you next time.